On 12 May 2008 at 2:28 p.m., a devastating 7.8 magnitude earthquake, one of the largest quakes China ever experienced, struck 92 kilometers northwest of the Sichuan provincial capital of Chengdu. The most disturbing outcome of this earthquake was the structural failure of schools that collapsed due to lack of knowledge and awareness of earthquake-resistant construction, killing thousands of trapped and helpless children, while buildings all around stood virtually untouched. In the first days after the quake, images of collapsed schools and parents in despair shocked the world.
Well, I think the horrible earthquake in Sichuan in 2008 was one of the worst disasters we had in this year. It was no big question for BASF to help, because we are a big part of the community in China. We are a responsible company acting in China. And with this we certainly wanted to help, to work together with UN Habitat.
UN Habitat is active in Asia, in many countries where disasters took place. It's earthquakes, tsunami, floods, you call it. And we do a whole range of responses, from immediately after disaster, or when people need shelters, or when reconstruction is being done. And often what people don't have after a disaster is a place to meet, a community place. And that's where the assistance of BASF comes in.
After the terrible earthquake in Sichuan in China in 2008, we started one of our employee donation campaigns here in Ludwigshafen, in Germany, and we did it together with the Chinese colleagues in Hong Kong and mainland China. Each employee donation campaign is matched by the company. That means, for example, in the Sichuan case, the company spent the same sum of money additionally to the money which was collected by the employees.
Since 2005, BASF has a private partnership with UN Habitat, the United Nations Agency for Human Settlements, providing adequate shelter for all. And for a decade, UN Habitat has worked with the Administrative Center for China's Agenda 21, or ACA 21, a government agency promoting sustainable urban development with over 200 partner cities in the country. Immediately after the 2008 earthquake in China, UN Habitat suggested the reconstruction of a village primary school, while ACA 21 teamed up with Chinese earthquake-safe engineers from Beijing and got in touch with its partner cities in Sichuan province. In the end, with funding from BASF, a project was developed for the reconstruction of the Yongguang village school.
Schools is not something we often do, because normally we deal with the problems of the housing of people. But with the German company BASF, we have a special agreement, and that agreement supports us to bring people together right after the disaster, to make decisions, to empower them, to set the recovery and the reconstruction for their communities.
We don't want that the money is wasted, which comes from the company and from our employees. We want to ensure that it really helps and it really arrives where it should be. I think an organization as UN Habitat, very professionally, very reliable, is a good partner to work with BASF on one hand. On the other hand, where we have an efficient organization and have employees close to the location where we want to act, I think it is also a very emotional and nice experience for the employees to really put their own hand on the project.
One of the challenges in the reconstruction project of Yongquan Village School was not only to build back a safer structure, but also to recuperate traditional Chinese earthquake-resistant construction techniques with local architectural identity and using local materials and human resources. UN Habitat's main implementing partner in this project was the Administrative Center for China's Agenda 21, or ACA 21.
We got manual of quake-proof building in a reconstruction handbook from UN Habitat. So that's something very useful, very helpful for local people here. But on the other hand is that manual also has to be integrated, with local situation, with local status quo, and in terms of Chinese reconstruction or recovery of those areas hit by quake in Sichuan province, they also, developed some kind of best practice or kind of experience. So I think that it's also kind of a wealth, right, to the rest of the world. And because those practice just coming from grassroots, coming from people, coming from people's innovative practice. So I think that combine both, we then could produce a very practicable, adding value output of how to reconstruct or how to rebuild a school or even a city, right, in a country when it were hit by an earthquake.
这个影响就比较大，因为这个我们现在的小学在整个
The building of this new school has a very good influence on the people around here, not only in Yongquan Village but also in the entire county. We have never seen such a modern school, such a beautiful building with a wonderful and practical design, and also built with environmentally friendly materials. For the kids, it will make a difference. They're very proud of their new school, so they want to be better students and study harder than before. The reconstruction of the Yongquan Village School started in December 2009, and the opening ceremony was held on 28 October 2010. With the opening of this earthquake-safe primary school, designed and built for modern teaching and learning, people here in Yongquan Village see new opportunities opening up for their children. The local people really want their children to have a very good education because, as you probably know, the main industry around here is tea, and they want their children to be educated so they can be well informed about any changes in tea cultivation techniques, and in the future perhaps find new ways to process and market tea, and in this way have a better life. The area around the village of Yongquan is a very fertile region of Sichuan province in southwestern China, and its warm, misty climate makes it an ideal place for growing tea. In fact, much of the green tea consumed in China today comes from this region. Years ago, there was an agrarian reform law which redistributed all farmland, and today every farmer owns a more or less equal amount of land, from 2 to 6 mu. 1 mu equals to 666 square meters. Besides the distinction between varieties of tea, The major difference between the type of teas is the processing method. Whereas black tea and other types are left to ferment after they are picked, green tea leaves are picked and immediately sent to be dried or steamed to prevent fermentation. All the tea produced in the Yongquan area is sold to this privately owned processing factory, and each family household receives an average annual income of 20,000 Chinese yuan, about 3,000 American dollars. Yongquan is a rural village without a center, with about 1,500 family households spread all over, and often with more than one family living in each household. The village population has been maintained at around 5,000 people due to China's one-child policy. This family planning policy, the world's biggest experiment in population control, went into effect in 1979, and Chinese authorities claim it has spared the planet 400 million people.